welcome to Falcon TV. Today is Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. I'm Jess Creighton along with Jackson Gatens and the rest of the FTV crew.
Seniors, today is your last day between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. is a textbook, equipment, Chromebook drop-off in the blue floor gym. Make sure to return anything you need to hand back in.
We now go over to Mike Keller with information on mental health and well-being and mindfulness.
The pandemic has changed our lives in the last few months, and while some things are opening back up, it has taken a toll on all of us, physically and mentally. Different people have ways to cope through situations, but there are those who don't have coping methods, or they don't know who to turn to. With facilities closed or people concerned about going out, as well as schools being closed, it may be harder for us to go to people they often turn to for help or support, such as their friend group, a counselor, a teacher, or a healthcare professional. The Greater Egg Harbor Regional District is aware of this, and in light of the end of the year approaching, the events taking place across the country, they and we want to make sure everyone is well. If you are in need or need to reach out, you could speak with people who are willing to support and help you during these difficult times. There are people who understand and are aware of things you're going through.
Hi, my name is Elena. I'm 24 and I manage a restaurant.
Hi, I'm Morgan Fowl and I am a rising senior at Stockton University, and I'm majoring in psychology with a mental health concentration and a minor in childhood studies.
My name is Soleil. I graduated from Oakcrest High School in 2015.
My name is Jared Lombardi, and I'm a proud member of Spread the Love Foundation and an advocate for mental health awareness and suicide prevention in the local area.
When I was a senior in high school, when I was 17, at that point I was at the peak of my battle with depression, anxiety, and a very long battle with an eating disorder as well.
I got accepted to Rutgers, New Brunswick, the Mason Grove Conservatory program, which was pretty exclusive to get into, so I was surprised that they let someone like me in.
I was diagnosed with bipolar type 2 and anxiety at a very young age.
I was doing everything that I possibly could, but I started to spiral a little bit. I had really bad separation anxiety from being, away from my family for the first time. Started to get really depressed and started to, at a point, get really suicidal.
I've dealt with my own mental health problems since I was in high school, along with being diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder.
I thought I could get away with the eating disorder. I thought I could manage the depression. I thought, the anxiety would just always be there. I thought I would always feel this way. And I quickly learned that I couldn't do it alone. And life was never going to get better as long as I was leaning on those things to get me through.
During these episodes, I was so exhausted. I was overpowered by the monstrous feeling of pure and utter darkness. All I could think about was how tired I was. I felt like my head was constantly underwater and the only way I could breathe was to sleep. On top of that, I felt helpless and I felt alone.
I remember sitting in class, I'd pick at my skin during one of my acting classes because I was just all over the place in my head and I didn't know what to do, and I know I'd skipped class a couple of times because I didn't really want to be there.
So fortunately, by the time I was graduating from high school and going to college, I brought all that stuff with me. And it was hard. The first couple, my first semester was not great. And fortunately, I had an awesome group of friends who eventually sat me down and said, you have to get help. And I went to the counseling center at Temple. And that was the first step for me to get on track to where I am now, to have a healthy life that's worth it and has joy and meaning.
Towards the end of high school, I helped start and run a club called STOP, or Students Together Opposing Prejudice. In this club, we held fundraisers, campaigns for awareness, and events that brought attention to the stigma around mental health. I was also able to raise enough money to walk overnight for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. During my experience with this club, for the first time in my life, I genuinely learned about my disorder. And through learning about it, talking with counselors in school, and reaching out to people around me for help while on medication, I was able to create an environment of love, kindness, and support for myself.
Setting goals is so important in developing yourself to be the person you want to be. I set goals each and every day for myself as a tool to stay positive and strengthen my mental process.
I just kept getting worse there. I eventually had to have the dean step in and, I had my parents come up to the campus and they basically said I wasn't fit to be on campus anymore.
But I realized that the first step to getting better and feeling better is to believe that you can and believe it's totally possible to get there. And that's why I'm here, is to tell you that it's totally possible and that you will feel better, you can feel better, and you deserve to feel better. And if you're not in a good place right now, it's not your fault.
Right now, I'm succeeding more than I ever have. At Stockton, I was able to connect with an organization called Active Minds. It holds similar events to my high school stop club and provides a community of love and passion.
I felt defeated for a while. I knew I wanted to go back to school at that time, but still nothing. But right now, I feel like I'm doing pretty okay. I'm, that 1 month in college and possibly wanting to go back a couple times, they've lasted, but I'm pretty okay where I am right now. I'm almost 4 years with my job. I work at a craft store. It's like the best thing I can be, as creative as I want to be. I get to help and do things in my community that I didn't think was possible.
The negative needs to go from your life, because those people are the ones that will hold you back from your goals that you want to reach. Having positive support from my family and filtering out the negative friends has opened many doors for me in life, and I don't plan on ever looking back.
So if you're not there yet to, do all of these other methods to start helping yourself feel better, the first step is to reach out and to just let somebody know. Some struggle worse than others, but it's not a competition, and we're all dealing with our own stuff. Everyone has their own struggle.
Because a positive outlook, supported by positive people, will get you to where you want to be.
I want everyone to understand that people with mental illnesses can succeed, and you can succeed.
And I'm still thriving in my own possible way, even outside of school. So it just depends on what you want to do, but you just gotta try.
Because there's so many resources there to help you. There's so many people who want to help you. My life has turned out more beautiful and extraordinary than I ever imagined. And I'm so positive that yours will too.
What I have found is that my story is who I am, and who I am is what got me here today. It's a part of me I cannot hide, and that no one should hide. Thank you.
Congratulations, graduating class of 2020. And I do want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. Be strong enough to stand alone, smart enough to know when you need help, and brave enough to ask for it. Thank you.
Mental awareness means bringing down the walls of stigma by sharing our experiences, stories, and truths. It means educating others on what mental issues really are and helping those with issues, knowing that they are not alone. You are not alone. If you are feeling stressed, having a tough time, or just need someone to speak to, know that you can reach out to them. People are there to listen to your struggles, your concerns, your fears, to you.
Thank you, Mike, for that information. If anything can show how taking actions can help bring about changes, council members in Minneapolis announced their position over the weekend from the stage at rally organized by activists in response to the May 25th killing of George Floyd while in police custody. That announcement was to dismantle the police department. 9 members in the Minneapolis City Council pledged their support for dismantling the city's police department, representing a veto-proof majority of the 13 city council members. We will be taking intermediate steps toward ending the MPD through the budget process and other policies and budget decisions over the coming weeks and months, Council Member Andrea Jenkins and Council President Lisa Bender told the crowd at Powderhorn Park. The lawmakers said there are still many details to be worked out about what a Minneapolis without police might look like. There may be very big changes ahead in the years to come. The mayor, Jacob Frey, was roundly booed after he told a crowd of protesters he didn't support the dismantling the city's police department. However, this outlook towards change in the police isn't just focused in Minneapolis. All across the United States, other cities and states are beginning to look more closely into how to redirect their budgets, infusing more social causes to help people while reforming and remodeling police departments. There may be very big changes ahead in the years to come.
And speaking of systems that need reformatting, insurance regulations from Tennessee to Washington State have stepped up efforts to protect patients from unexpected bills for coronavirus tests. Concerned the federal government has failed to shield people from thousands of dollars in out-of-pocket expenses, the state-by-state guidance and rules come after Congress and the Trump administration this spring assured Americans that coronavirus testing and any necessary trips to doctors and hospitals would be free. But lawmakers didn't limit charges if the testing is done out of network, or prohibit labs or hospitals from billing people if insurers refuse to pay their posted charges. Employees and health plans have complained this could lead to staggering costs. One national insurer was billed $6,946 for a coronavirus test in Texas. In Oklahoma, health plans received 175 out-of-network claims for coronavirus tests over a single week that ranged from $153 to $2,315 per test. The issue could get more attention as New York City and other communities move to make COVID-19 diagnostic testing available to all residents regardless of whether they are showing symptoms, with the pressure on private insurers to pay. The state regulators apply only to Obamacare markets and other individual coverage, not to most workplace plans that still cover the majority of the nation's privately insured. Likewise, the states can't dictate how labs will be for the tests. But their actions underscore the potential for price gouging and other abuses that the Trump administration and Congress didn't fully address as they rushed to boost testing capacity in the early weeks of the pandemic. Imagine if protesters could help solve the healthcare issue in America too.
There will be a virtual sports meeting for those interested in fall girls tennis. Mr. Ponzetti is planning to send out an email to students with the Google Meet link to join the meeting. It is scheduled for Wednesday, June 10th at 1 p.m.
And in national sports, there is a roadblock for baseball's comeback. As other sports leagues around the world finalize plans to return, Major League Baseball still has not. Owners have asked players to take a second pay cut, not only to reflect a shorter season, but also less money per game, and the players have said no. The two sides are so far apart that it's possible there may be no baseball until next spring.
Wipe it down. Wipe it down. Wipe.
The other day, we aired senior takeover picks. Today and through the week, we'll air videos that were made at the end of each show, post-credits clips.
So for me and everyone here at Falcon TV, stay well and be safe.
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Thomas and thanks for joining us today on our newest episode of the Falcon Forum. On today's episode, we've got a lot in store, but today's top story making headlines is Senior Takeover Day. With more on that story, we head over to our special correspondent over at the news desk.
Hi everybody, did you know today was Senior Takeover Day? You didn't. Well, today is, and did you know that I'm actually a better Mr. Thomas than Mr. Thomas is? Too bad I can't show you because we're not in school. But hold up, I need to take a sip of my coffee because I have a caffeine addiction. Nice and energized. All jokes aside though, thank you Mr. Thomas for having me as your senior takeover. I think I did a pretty good job. Woo woo. But anyways, happy Senior Takeover Day to everybody. Have a great day, guys.